Hello everyone, how are we all doing? My name's Asha, I am a local person, I'm an art teacher and known as one of those naughty trans activists that get a lot of bad rap. Meow! Exactly, trans rights are human rights! Thank you so much, I've got a speech for you, I hope it's not too long. Sorry. In 2013, Farage said that Margaret Thatcher's open-mindedness was responsible for today's tolerance in British society, adding that equal marriage is dangerous. Farage, when reminded of Thatcher's support for the homophobic Section 28, which banned the promotion of homosexuality in schools, he said that was done because she feared some of the very, very extreme left-wing elements within the teaching union. And went on to say, but Margaret Thatcher, her period as our Prime Minister was one I think of real advancement for gay people in society. They were not discriminated against the way they had been by nearly every Prime Minister before. Right now, we are once again living in a Section 28 climate against trans people, spearheaded by Reform UK, who aims to set its voters in opposition to the trans community as if trans people are somehow not part of and don't contribute towards society. Reform UK aim to ban transgender ideology in primary and secondary schools and state that transgender indoctrination is causing irreversible harm to children. It is a dangerous safeguarding issue to confuse children by suggesting there is more than two sexes, no gender questioning, social transitioning or pronoun swapping, and they plan to inform parents of under 16s about their children's life decisions and that schools must have single-sex facilities. But Reform are fantasists. The Department for Education outlines guidance for primary schools on how to approach relationships and sex education and health education. They say the focus in primary schools should be on teaching the fundamental building blocks and characteristics of positive relationships, with particular reference to friendships, family relationships, and relationships with other children and adults. What Reform UK seem to be missing is that LGBT plus people were also once children. And I can say that for a fact, every single one of us would have benefited from more understanding and compassion in our school environments. Respect and understanding are the pillars of any caring society, and it seems like Reform want to eradicate those pillars under the banner of anti-wokeness. They say they want to protect children, but in the same breath want to out them to their families and others if they indicate any sign of non-conformity. This is, of course, incredibly dangerous for the children living in families who are being LGBTQIA+, could put them at risk. Baroness Faulkner, who heads the EHRC that regulates equality laws, described the Supreme Court judgment as a victory for common sense. The Supreme Court ruling was not a victory for women's rights. It was a victory for the patriarchy and division and active discrimination. The climate of biological essentialism and biological scrutiny it has created affects all women. Now, women who don't meet a standard of what a woman should look like face scrutiny when entering toilets and or accessing spaces for care. Woo. Nearly there. Thank you. On the 2nd of October 2023, the Tory Health Minister Steve Barclay proposed trial legislation for hospitals to prevent transgender women from being treated in either male or female wards. On the 3rd of October, my beautiful friend, known as Tristessa or Joelle, went into hospital with blood cancer. If you know anything about that, it's actually relatively easy to treat if caught early on. However, Tristessa was refused treatment. Despite there being countless beds in the wards, they made her wait until a single-sex room was available, which never happened. Tristessa was denied care for 16 days. She pleaded with the doctors to be treated, whether in a male ward, a female ward, even the corridor. She didn't care because she was so desperate and in so much pain. She was waiting for a single room because she was trans. By the time she received care, it was too late for Tristessa, and sadly she is no longer with us. This wasn't policy, it wasn't a directive, it was something that the hospital chose to interpret. The loss of Tristessa is a direct result of the anti-trans climate that we live in. to the extent that doctors wouldn't act on their Hippocratic oath to preserve life because of proposed legislation. Her mum, Jane, is working tirelessly to take on the EHRC and file a medical negligence and discriminatory practice case and is seeking legal aid. If you want to know more, you can come speak to me about that and how to support her. It was already so hard for queer, trans and gender non-conforming people. I don't know a single trans person who has not experienced some form of violence, be it verbal abuse, bullying, harassment, and even physical abuse. Some of my friends and trans siblings have been hospitalized and worse due to hate crimes that have been inflicted upon them. And I too have been physically assaulted on the streets of Brighton, which is my hometown. We don't feel safe to be visible, to show ourselves and connect with wider society. All this talk of cisgender women feeling unsafe, and many of us find it hard to even leave our homes. Ooh, there it goes. We're rarely even using public toilets because we feel unsafe. We don't feel safe in the women's toilets because we risk getting scrutinized or harassed. We don't feel safe in the men's toilets because we risk getting predated or facing violence. Not to mention the fact that the men's toilets are often really disgusting, if anyone. I work with children. I'm proud to say that I'm a respected role model for them. I teach them rules about respect and kindness and acceptance. They connect with me as a person, not an idea. I teach 160 plus. Thank you. Thank you very much. I teach 160 plus children a week, which extends to about 180 including school holidays. The children are from many different backgrounds, including both affluent and impoverished, and I can tell you that they are all desperate to express themselves as individuals, to connect with something that inspires them and makes them feel who or what they are is okay. They connect with stories of empowerment and friendship. Is there a bigger and brighter story of connection, empowerment and community than the LGBTQIA+ community? So what Reform is trying to say is they would rather limit children's opportunities, limit their abilities to express themselves. That is radical gender ideology. Now, more than ever, you need to stand by your trans people. Our community is so loving and so deserving of love. Our community is beautiful, it's inspiring, formidable, creative and passionate, but we have to be. In the face of discrimination, we need to stick together. I'm going to invite my lovely trans people with me. Come join me. When I say trans, you say love. Trans! Love! Trans! Love! Trans! Love! Thank you so much for having me.
Asha, thank you so much. Oh my goodness. We know that if they come for one of us, they come for all of us. Okay.